Stop holding on to your gift. Put it out now. What's the one thing that you've been keeping to yourself, waiting for the world, for the perfect time to share it with the world? Well, the world is ready right now. This is Ace Anderson Live. Let's get it. Yo, 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 what's going on? Good morning to all you beautiful, brilliant, abundantly blessed beings. Welcome back to yet another present moment. This is Ace Anderson Live, where we connect every Monday morning to provide you with weekly inspirational and entrepreneurial tips and tricks to help you ace your life. Now, congratulate yourself for making it to yet another beautiful dawn with me, your dedicated guide on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you don't know by now, I am an actor, a rapper, a filmmaker, the ace of all trades, the modern Renaissance man, Ace Anderson, and I am so happy to be here with you all for another blessed abundant week. Now, as we embrace this first light together, I want to extend a special shout out to each and every one of you early morning risers joining in live. Your dedication to starting the week with intention and positivity is what makes the A Team extraordinary. So I want you to grab your favorite morning brew. Y'all know my drink of choice is alkaline water, and let us explore, illuminate, and inspire ourselves to be better with mindful conversation. Now, today I'm going to get a little bit personal with y'all, okay? There's something inside of you, a gift, a talent, a light that the world is waiting to see. And I know, some of you are holding back, you're waiting for the perfect moment or hoping to reach some level of success or perfection before you share it with the world. But let me tell you something. The perfect time does not exist. The world needs your gift right now. Stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop doubting that you're good enough. The fact that you are here, breathing, dreaming, is proof that your unique light has value. And here's the thing. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with realness. Think about the people that you follow, the people that you listen to, right? Think about me. I mean, I'm sure you don't follow me because you believe that I'm perfect, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So as we embark on this week's adventure, let us remember to align our hearts with the fruit of the Spirit, that is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Let us trust these divine nine to guide us on the path to living a life that resonates deeply with our most authentic desires. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, perfection. Let's talk about the trap of perfection. Perfectionism is the killer of dreams. It is well, we've all been where we've all had this perfectionism mindset at one point or another, thinking, I'll launch this when it's flawless, or I'll share my work when I have it all figured out. But here's the truth, perfectionism is just fear wearing a fancy mask. Perfectionism convinces us that if we just wait a little bit longer, if we just polish it a bit more, then we'll be ready. But remember what Voltaire said, perfect is the enemy of good. Waiting for things to be perfect often means never starting at all. And this isn't just like my opinion, right? In Ecclesiastes 11:4, it says, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. So the translation for that is, if you're always waiting for ideal conditions, you'll never move forward. So you have to let go of the need for everything to be flawless. Instead, embrace progress over perfection, right? Remember, done is better than perfect. I often have to remind my wife that, you know, and and she's starting to come around a little bit more. I mean, we both have had perfectionism mindsets in one way or another. Um, and I think a little while ago, maybe it was the beginning of last year, I decided, I really needed to get out of my own way of trying to be perfect and trying to make everything just right, because what I realized it was doing was forcing me into a space of of critical judgment, right? So somebody asked, Bryant Mossman asked, what if you aren't waiting for ideal conditions, but waiting for it to be good enough to start? So I love that you asked this, man. I really love that you asked this. Why can't I make this smaller? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Got it. All right, but so what if you aren't waiting for ideal conditions? You're waiting for it to be good enough to start. So to me, Bryant, that is pretty much the same thing, right? So we're talking about where the ideal condition would be for it to be good, right? For it to be a certain way. But what makes a thing good is the creation, right? It's the same idea as joy in the journey. What makes something good is the fact that it was once nothing and now it is becoming something, right? It is something that began in only in theory, right? And the process of bringing it to fruition is what makes it good. And and I'm not saying to release something while you're in the creative process. However, I'm saying to, like, there's a point where you recognize something is a thing. It's done. It's finished, right? And then there's a step sometimes as artists, as creators, that we go beyond that, where we say we have to keep going. It's not good enough yet. Wait, oh, maybe I should tweak this. Maybe I should put this, or what about this sound? And I don't know if people will like this. And I want to make sure that when people listen to it, it sounds like you start pushing beyond the zone. Now, the zone, I say, is when I believe is when you are in the creative space and you're not thinking about the outcome. You're just moving with the flow of the creative process. You're adding this paint stroke because you feel it in the moment. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I want to bring about to fruition. I desire this from my own God persona, from my own godly understanding, right? And so that to me is the creative process that is unhinged, right? That is unadulterated, that is pure from God energy. You're creating from source. And once you then, it's like there comes a point where you then become a judge of a thing, right? You become the judge and you decide that this isn't good enough. It's not good enough for the world to see. And and especially a good way to know that you're still waiting for ideal conditions, like the condition that it is good, right? Is once you stop working on the thing and you feel like once you get out of the zone, you're out of the zone. And if you're out of the zone of the thing, then it's either done or you're afraid of continuing to work on it because you don't believe that it ever will be done. So I guess I can use an example like writing a book, right? So a lot of people will often experience writer's block. And if you're writing, if you're used to writing, and you reach a point where you're, two chapters in and you feel like you got a good flow, but then you introduce this character and it gets a little bit confusing because now it kind of throws off your groove, and you're not really sure where the story is going, and then you just leave it and you never go back to it again. And that writer's block is actually just fear. It's fear of making a wrong choice. It's fear of being in the zone and writing something that isn't ideal, right? The next question is, how would one get into and stay in the so called zone? So you already are in the zone. But if you feel like you're not, the best way I would say is to quiet your mind, meditate, take a moment to step back from all external stimulation and allow yourself to only receive downloads. Quiet your mind so that the only thing that is coming in is just thought, where you're defined not by a place, not by a time, right? Not by any of your senses. You're only defined by thought. So you're in a quantum realm, right? You're now in this spiritual realm where only thought exists, and you can then differentiate the difference between your active thinking, right, which is oftentimes negative, versus your thoughts. So thinking and thoughts are two different things. Thought is automatic. Thought just happens. Thought just occurs. Thought shows up in our being because we're connected to source energy. Thinking is an active, is basically an active, is an action that you do in order to um, process your thought, right? And we often, when we start thinking, we become the judge of our thoughts. So when you meditate, you quiet your mind, you can differentiate between thinking and thought. And then once you get into the zone where you're just understanding what thoughts are coming to you, follow the thoughts that are the most exciting, right? Once you're done meditating, you get up, you go about your day following your excitement. Take the time, take the energy to just follow your own excitement. Do not allow yourself to be swayed by your own thought that you know better than what source energy is what you're receiving from source energy. So that's the main way I would say to get into the zone, especially when you start writing, when you start creating, when you start whatever it is that you're bringing from what you're downloading from source energy and putting onto paper and recording in some way, whether you're constructing it with your hands, whether you're painting it, whether you're singing it, whatever. Don't judge yourself as you're creating, because the moment you start judging yourself, you're not in the zone. You can't be the writer and the editor at the same time. You gotta be the writer. You have to be the writer. That the writer is in the zone. The editor is the observer of the person who is in the zone. And you can't be both of those people at the same time. So when you're trying to get in the zone, if you feel like, I'm not there, I don't know, like, you have to quiet your mind, because you don't know what thoughts are yours versus what are negative, what are positive thoughts, what's exciting, what's a fear-based thought, what's an excitement-based thought. You have to get really clear on that. So you have to quiet your mind, you have to meditate, you have to get into the zone. And once you're there, then you can go into creation mode. And you go into creation mode by following your excitement, right? So to become the observer of your own thoughts, right? You just become aware. You acknowledge your thoughts. To become an observer in when you meditate, this is what happens. Meditate actually means to become familiar with. So when you quiet your mind, when you sit, you meditate, you go into a dark place, you're not defined by any sounds or smells or tastes or times or anything other than thoughts, right? Then now pretty much you only have two types of thoughts. You have the thoughts that the thinking that you're doing, and the thoughts that are just occurring to you, right? That you're not actively just trying to think that thing. That's because then there wouldn't be an idea. Like an idea doesn't, you don't think of an idea, right? An idea kind of thinks of you and you become that idea. And then you can then observe that thought that you're having, right? So when you quiet your mind, you can become aware of the thoughts that you have. And once you become aware of those thoughts, then you're outside of yourself, right? You're literally outside of the program that is your constant thinking. Is you're just aware, oh wow, I'm thinking angry thoughts, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking positive thoughts, wow, this was an interesting idea that I had. Now you're outside of yourself, right? Because so you're now the observer of your own mind. Is there an amount of time that is unhealthy to stay in that zone if possible? No. No, it is. There is never a wrong amount of time to stay in the zone. I love all these questions, Brian. Thank you for asking. But no, there is never a wrong or unhealthy amount of time to stay in the zone. We are interdimensional beings, spiritual beings having a human experience. Spiritual beings are always operating on the vibrational frequency of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self control. These beings are always operating in the zone. Your spiritual self, your greater self, not your limited self that is having the human experience, that has confined itself to a single point in time, right? Your greater self that is just made up of essentially thought and positive vibrational energy is always in the zone. And it is our limited perspective that often takes us out of the zone. It disconnects us from source energy. It disconnects us from the space that is not it disconnects us from the space that is not in this, or that is in the zone. So it doesn't allow us to be in the zone. So there is no unhealthy amount of time to be in the zone. You want to be in the zone all the time. And the best way you can remain there, one, is by meditating often, at least 20 minutes a day, right? At least 20 minutes a day. And they say you should meditate for 20 minutes a day. Unless you're really busy, then you should meditate for an hour. So meditation is so important because it connects you back with source energy so that you can be in the zone and you can be in the flow. Because again, if you once you ask for something, you desire something, you will receive it. You receive it. It's done. It's vibrationally there. Now your only job is to match the vibration of what you desire. And when you don't match the vibration of what you desire, you bring in more of what you don't desire, because you're matching the vibration of something else. You're matching the vibration of wanting it. You're matching the vibration of trying. You're matching the vibration of efforting. And all of that will be counterproductive because your source energy, your greater self, is not doing that. Your greater self is in the zone. Your greater self has all the ideas. Your greater self has all the answers. And from your perspective, it may not look like, oh, if I paint this, if I follow my impulse to paint this thing red, then I'm not going to make a good piece of art. But your greater self knows that that's the best way to go about it, even if it doesn't look like it to you. So you always have to recognize, you have to connect with your greater self. You always have to connect back with source energy. And the best way to do that is by quieting your mind and getting to the vibration of the fruit of the spirit. And you have to stay in that space. Next question is, how do you balance staying in the zone, but also considering outside opinion, thought, positive and negative? So the simplest method, the simplest thing you can do is to follow your excitement. That is the number one thing that you can do to live a balanced life. Because the only thing that throws you out of balance is your fear that what you desire will not manifest. That is the only thing that is throwing you out of balance. So if you're in balance, if you're in flow, then somebody might give you a bit of critique that really resonates with you because you're at a vibrational frequency to resonate. Oh, I want to apply that. I want to take that bit of critique. I want to take that opinion. And you might get another idea. You might say, oh, well, I might be in flow and say, oh, that opinion actually doesn't really matter. It doesn't really pertain. And because my source energy is saying that not to even concern myself with that. That opinion doesn't really resonate with me. And so I don't need to worry about it. I have the answers because I'm connected to source. That's what it means to pray, right? That's why when we talk about prayer, when we talk about communicating with God, you're communicating with the source of everything, the source that truly has all the answers. And if that source energy, the downloads that you're getting says, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that opinion. Or, somebody said this and something in my spirit says to go this other way. So let me listen to my spirit rather than trying to appease someone else who is only listening to their spirit. They're living their own selfish life, right? And so it is most important for you to live in complete synchronicity with your source energy, with source, with what the spirit is telling you, right? You are your own superpower. So I want to talk about something really powerful, and that's you. The thing that makes your gift so valuable is that it comes from you, with your unique experiences, perspectives, and energy. There might be millions of people out there doing something that could be similar, but no one, and I mean no one, can do it exactly like you. Think about it. Oprah, Issa Rae, Steve Jobs, they were not the first to do what they did. Oprah wasn't the first person to have a talk show. Issa Rae wasn't the first person to make a production company and put it on YouTube. Steve Jobs wasn't the person to invent computers. They were not the first to do what they did. But they were the first to bring their unique twist to it. And that's what set them apart. The world is craving authenticity, not copies. But just because you're doing something that someone else did, just because it's in the same field, or you got the idea from this arena, and then you decided, oh wait, I could do that a little bit better. That is what makes it authentic. It's you, your voice, your energy. No one can do it like you. Oscar Wilde once said, be yourself, everyone else is already taken. And in Psalm 139:14 reminds us, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your uniqueness is intentional, so why hold it back? So Brian asks, if you are, oops, oh, see, this thing is acting up. Hold on. There we go. This is better. And you can't read that. Sorry, y'all. Let me try that again. If you are looking for someone or have someone already, how can you support someone struggling with staying in that zone, staying with that source energy? If you are looking for someone or have someone already, how can you support someone struggling with staying in that zone, staying with that source energy? Tell me, rephrase that again, Bryant, and because I want to understand. I want to understand what you mean. All right. Um, Now I know some of you might be thinking, you know, but what if, you know, what if people don't like what I have to share? Well, look, rejection and judgment are kind of part of the game, right? But they don't define your worth. The reality is, if you're constantly worried about pleasing everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one. You've got to focus on those who will appreciate your gift and not those who won't. You're not here for everyone. Stop worrying about if everybody likes you, because you don't like everybody. Right? There's some artists that are super famous that you really like. There are some artists that are super famous that you don't like, and you're not really sure why everybody likes them. But their fame is not dependent on whether you like them. Their fame comes from the people that do like them. You're not here for everyone. You're here for the people who resonate with what you bring to the table. All right, Bryant. So you're saying in a relationship or friendship, just helping someone struggling. Sorry. So if you're if you're looking for someone, already have someone in a relationship or a friendship, you want to help someone who's struggling, the best thing that you can do is to focus on the art that is, I believe, you focus on your own creation. You focus on your journey, because a rising tide raises all ships. There's a time that I really felt like I had to help everyone in my family. And it was very crippling, because anytime I would do something, I would try to, like, oh, let me, support this person here. Let me, help this other person here, and let me help this cousin, and let me design this thing, and let me create this thing. And I realized I wasn't spending any time elevating my own success, elevating my own career, pushing my business forward. Essentially, I wasn't putting on my own oxygen mask, because I was trying to help everybody else put theirs on, everyone else that I cared about. And so what often happens is what would happen is that I felt depleted. I was not able to even grow my business. I was helping my wife, right, build her business and trying to do that. If I helped her, then I could help myself, because then that thing would be successful and I would feel good, and then I could build up myself. But that was actually killing me. It was killing my soul. And what was better was actually when I started to focus on the things that I could do, because my success was more of a help and an aid than any of the active help and aid that I was trying to give my family. My success was more of an inspiration to my family than the active help and support that I was trying to give them. Just the fact that they saw me chasing my dreams. They see, oh, they ask me, Ace, how do you do this? Can you support me here? Check me out. They would then ask, and they would come to me because they see me doing well. And so I had to start to trust that, look, the same God that is walking me through life, that's holding my hand through life and leading me in the right direction, is the same God that's in their life. And so if I want them to be better, ask and ye shall receive, right? I want them to be better. I want them to have the best life. I want them to be in the zone. I want them to chase their dreams. I want them to build everything up that they want in their life. And the best way that I can do that is by following my excitement and trusting that those prayers will be answered. Trusting that everything I want for their life will come to fruition if I focus on what I have control over. Because one of the fruit of the Spirit, the last fruit of the Spirit, is self-control. It's not control, it's self-control. So in order to resonate and vibrate with the Spirit, with source energy, you have to practice self-control. So the best way for you to be an inspiration to those who you want to help in your life, in their life, is to build yourself up as much as possible, keeping them in mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be selfish, and I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be, a hoarder of all resources. You're not doing that, because clearly you just the thought that you want to help other people. If they came to you and were like, yo, I really need some support, I'm sure you would help them. But a lot of times we offer our support without the person even asking. And that's fine, but not if it's at the sacrifice of our own well-being. Not if it's at the sacrifice of our own mission. Look, you can please some of the people all of the time, or you can please all of the people some of the time. But you can't please all or all of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all the time. Okay? That quote is John Lidgett, right? And in Galatians 1:10, we see it again. I am now seeking the approval of man. Am I now seeking the approval of man or God? Whose approval are you seeking? And God is in here. God is in here. Not out there, not some arbitrary judge. You can feel it. You can feel, am I on the path? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I following my excitement? Is this truly leading me to where I want to be? Or am I acting out of fear? Because when you're acting out of fear, that means you don't have trust or faith in source energy. You believe that you will not get what you want if you practice the fruit of the Spirit. And the universe is going to answer you affirmatively. It's going to say, okay, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get what you desire because you're acting out of fear. You're vibrating on fear. You're not vibrating on faith. So today, choose to seek the approval of your purpose, not people. Say that with me. Purpose over people. So, how do you get started? Every day at work, I'm overwhelmed with anxiety knowing I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm afraid to try what I love and fail. So, thanks Edmund for saying this. So many people resonate in with this statement. And this is the crux of what I'm talking about today. You will never fail. You can't fail. You can't fail when you follow your excitement. You can't fail when you follow the call of God. How could you fail? If God is with me, who can be against me? No weapons formed against you shall prosper. You will only learn. You will only learn. You cannot fail. It is impossible. The only failure is your fear. The only failure is your fear. In a live stream a couple weeks ago, we talked about how you will never not exist. You cannot die. You cannot die. You will never not exist. What are you afraid of? The phrase, I think, therefore I am. You think, therefore you are. You think, so you are. If you have the ability to think, you exist and you are constantly transforming. You are the center of your universe. There is never another perspective that you will have than yours, than this perspective that you have right now. You will never have a different perspective. You always are operating from this central point, and the world is moving around you, right? It's like if it's a video game, like the camera that's basically staying still and the world is just moving around you. It's like you got a headset on. That's exactly what it is. I've definitely failed myself due to fear. I just have to do it. Thank you for this. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. You're never failing, okay? The whole point of life is to be on the vibrational frequency of everything that you desire. That is your purpose. Vibrate on the frequency of what you desire. And the only thing that it seems like it's been failures because you're not a vibrational match to what you want. But you can easily vibrate and match what you desire, and everything will show up. And when you're there, you have to just trust that other things will show up because they have before. You made it this far. Remember that you have a lot of the things that you were praying for. Remember when you were praying for what you have now? So why lose faith? Why have you lost faith? And there's no time like the present. There is no time like the present. The moment is now. You can have it now. Trust your excitement. Trust your excitement. Leave the job. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave it. I'm sure don't you want the adventure of life? If you want an adventurous life, it's going to be challenging. But that does not mean your outlook has to be one of misery. Your outlook has to be one of despair. Oh, this is a challenge. This is exciting. Wow, this is interesting. Don't you want to have an interesting life? Don't you want to go on an adventure? Leave the job. If you don't like it, if it's not bringing you joy, if every time you think of it, you're in misery, you're in the thing that's trapping you there, that's keeping you there, is the fear that you believe that the misery that you're experiencing is better than the misery that you will experience going out there. So you're benefiting yourself. You're actually succeeding. You're actually succeeding. You're not a failure at all. You're succeeding. You're giving yourself exactly what you want. This misery here is better than the misery out there because I don't know that misery out there. So I'd rather stick with the devil I know than the devil I don't know. So you're succeeding. But you don't recognize that you've actually limited yourself. Who's to say? Who's to say that the devil out there is not better than the devil in here? Because you're miserable right now. This sucks. I hate going to work. I'm complaining all the time to people I like. It's so hard for me to get on a positive frequency because I keep having to go to this job and deal with these people that I don't like, that I don't want to talk to, and I'm not getting paid enough and just complaining. I can't even appreciate anything because I'm just complaining all the time. So leave the job. Get rid of that complaint. I don't even have to complain. Whoa. Imagine what my life would look like if I didn't have to complain about that thing that I'm always complaining about. We're so scared of the devil that we don't know. But who's to say that's the devil? You got God on your side. You have God on your side. Do you know what that means? You have the source of everything. The being that has created everything on your side, with you, guiding you, telling you this job sucks. You deserve better. And you like, nah, God, nah, this is good. I'm here. You got God on your side. Come on, man. Leave the job. Go on an adventure. Trust. Let me just try living with faith just for a year. For 1 year of my life. 1 year. Okay, you can't do 1 year? Do 1 month. 1 month. I'm going to just live on faith. See what happens. Worst case scenario, I know I could get a job that I don't like. I know I could get a shitty job. I know I could go work at McDonald's if I want. I know I could do that. So I can always come back to this. Try it. I dare you. I dare you. Try it. Live on faith. Live by faith, not by sight. You're not going to know the answer for everything. You're not going to know how it's going to turn out. But isn't that exciting? Isn't that dope? Like, oh man, like you do you only watch movies that you've seen before? No. You want to I've never been here before. Doesn't it excite you to go on an adventure, to go vacation somewhere you've never been? Cause you don't know. It's like I won't know. I'm excited to see. You don't have to know every single step. It's not detailed like that. That's not how life works. And you don't want it to work like that. That's why you have that if you were that, your spiritual being would not have come down here to have this human experience. Because spiritual beings, limitless beings, lack the limit. Limited beings lack limitation, and we are limited to this space, this time, right? And think about it. If you're a spiritual being that came down to be in this physical body, your whole goal was to experience life one moment at a time without knowing, because isn't that fun? I don't want to be a spiritual being right now where I can know everything. I'd rather live one moment at a time. Wouldn't that be more exciting than just, oh, I know everything. All right, this is boring. I know everything. I know what's going to happen. Okay, cool. You don't want to know what's going to happen. You don't want to know every single step. You want to go on the adventure. Whoa, look, we went here and then we went there and then we jumped here and then we turned around here. Right? Follow your excitement. How do you get started? You follow your excitement. Excitement is like an internal compass guiding you towards your purpose. When something excites you, it's your spirit's way of saying, this is where you need to go. It's exciting you, not because of fear, not, oh my God, I have to do this or else this is going to happen. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I just got to go see what's going on over here. I just got to follow this impulse to just check this thing out because that's so hyped. It's so exciting. Now, here's something that'll surprise you. Excitement and fear often go hand in hand. When you feel both at the same time, you know you're onto something, right? You're onto something really big. Just like Nelson Mandela said, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And here's the kicker. When you follow your excitement, you have to let go of the outcome. You must follow your excitement to the best of your ability, with no insistence or assumption on what the outcome will be. Because who's to say that what will come is not better than what you believe you want to happen? So don't get wrapped up in the outcome. You got to let go of it. Right? And it's good to have that fear. It's good to have that balance, right? The fear that you're of the thing that you're running away from, but you want to be more excited about the thing you're running towards, right? So your excitement is what you're running towards and your fear is what you're running from, right? And you have to get those two things to be in sync and balanced. That's how you live a balanced life. Brian, I know you were asking about that earlier. So then once you are following your excitement, you go to the best of your ability, as taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further. And oftentimes when we feel like we can't take it any further, we treat it like it's a brick wall, when actually it's just an arrow pointing us in another direction. It's not a brick wall you have to break through. Once you follow your excitement and you're like, okay, I've reached a point where I really can't go any further than this with my abilities right now. I need all of this other stuff to take it that far. So then once you're there, follow the next exciting thing. Because if it's another exciting thing, it's probably a turn. It's probably an indication that you need to turn left or right or go up or down, right? Don't just force your way through that brick wall. Okay, that's not exciting. That's fear. Like, I have to force this thing to happen because I'm insisting that it turns out the way that I believe that it should turn out. That's efforting. God is often guiding you. God is always guiding you with excitement. That is why one of the fruit of the Spirit is joy. Follow your joy. What brings you joy? Follow the love. What's just love? Oh man, this feels so good. Follow the peace. This is really peaceful. This is bringing me peace. I'm at peace with all of this. And follow your joy. Don't get too attached on how things should look. Just let things flow. You know, like in Taoism, they talk about Wu Wei, or action through non-action. It's about allowing things to unfold without forcing them. And now that you're fired up, I see all of y'all is fired up. Let's get practical, all right? Here's some tips to start sharing your gift with the world today. Start small, but be consistent, right? You don't have to have everything figured out right now. Share a little each day or each week and build from there. 2, celebrate the small wins. Every post, every step forward, celebrate it. Please celebrate it. You have to get used to the positive affirmation, the positive reinforcement that you're going in the right direction. Celebrate yourself every time you take a step towards your dreams. Every single time, celebrate it. Each time you share, you're getting stronger and closer to your purpose. Celebrate yourself. Get used to honoring yourself. Getting excited. That's what the creation story is about. When God creates the heavens and the earth, and every single day, what does God do? He's like, all right, that was enough work for today. Let me step back and say, that's good. This is good. This is good. Celebrate yourself every step of the way. Number 3, remember the 80-20 rule. Get your work to 80% and put it out there. If you can get it to 100%, that's great, but just to 80. Done is better than perfect. That's it. That's your requirement. All right? I want you to get started with that. I'm going to get it 80% done, because done is better than perfect. You can always go back and refurbish and remix and reinvent and try something different. But I promise you're going to learn more from it being done than trying to get it to be perfect. Because once it's 80% done, then you got room for people to give feedback, and people are out, and then you hear how people resonate. And then you might even hear people like, wow, this is amazing. And they're treating it like it was your 100%. They don't know that it was 80%. They have no idea. They're just like, wow, you put it out. This is great. And then you start to learn, oh, wait, maybe the 80% is done. You start to really understand what done means. I didn't have to make it 100% perfect. I didn't have to do every little detail when I didn't know how to do it. You could have just get it to 80%. It feels good. This feels good. Let me put it out. Let me learn from the feedback. I'll learn how to make the next one better. I'll be quicker, because a lot of times I'll tell you, like, my wife will watch me do some design projects, and it'll be done. She'll come up to the computer. She'll be like, wow, that's amazing. Like, ready to put it out. And then she'll watch me work for like 2-3 more days on this same project. Like, she was like, I thought it was done 3 days ago. Done is better than perfect. And most importantly, remember, sharing your gift is an act of courage. Okay? Don't let fear of judgment steal your light. Sharing your gift is an act of courage. You are light. Other people will judge. You judge everything too. You judge TV shows that come out. Oh my God, they made this TV show. Well, they made the TV show. Yes. Who cares if you didn't like it? They made the TV show whether you liked it or not, no matter what your judgments are. Forget about people's judgments. Everybody's going to judge everything that you do. Don't judge yourself so much that you never put it out. Because if they could put that terrible TV show out, then you can put whatever terrible thing out that you feel like isn't the best work ever. Okay? Done is better than perfect. So I love to, look at real life examples. Oftentimes I'll talk about Oprah, but she didn't know that she would be Oprah, right? She just followed her excitement. She took steps and didn't try to control the outcome. Steve Jobs, right? That man, he had a vision, but he let the journey take its own shape. And today, Apple is one of the most successful companies in the world, not just because Steve Jobs knew every single step in advance, but because he was willing to start, to share, and to grow. The iPhone that came out is way less advanced than the iPhone today. Okay, they didn't just come out like boom, like here it goes, and this is now everybody's modeling their stuff off the iPhone, and people still got critiques about Apple and the iPhone. People still got critiques about all these devices, but hey, he put it out. He could have waited for everybody's critique. Let me just take everybody's critique. Let me try, make sure it's perfect. I don't ever want anybody to have to say anything bad about my creation ever. I'm not going to put it out until I know no one can ever say anything bad about my thing. Can you imagine? That's the logic that many of us go by. I am going to wait until no one has anything negative to say about my product before I put it out. You'll never put it out. 80%. Done is better than perfect. In my own life, I found that some of my biggest wins happen when I stop obsessing over the perfect time and just took action. I was wanting to on my YouTube channel. I was wanting to get my YouTube channel above 1,000 subscribers, right? 1,000 things, and I was like so worried about starting fresh and then one day I decided, 2023 actually, I was like, I'm gonna create a music channel, and I'm just gonna post a music video, a song a week for 11 weeks, and I'm gonna make a music video and put it out. One, it taught me the 80% rule, right? Because I was like, all right, I got to get this done within a week. So I'm not going to try to make it like the perfect. I'm going to just hit 80% if I can. And I put it out. Within a month, I had over 2,000 subscribers. And on my first music video, I got 400,000 views. And I was able to monetize my channel. And the crazy thing is that I started a new channel, which I was afraid to do because I was like, oh, I already have this channel that I've had for 12 years. Like, I don't know if I should start this new one. I started a whole new music channel and posted videos. In a month, I got 400,000 views that was able to monetize my channel. I got over 4,000 hours of watch time. I got over 1,000 YouTube subscribers, which is both, those are the two requirements for having, for monetizing. Because I stopped worrying about being perfect. I put out more music in 2 months than I had ever put out in in 2 years, in years. So it's possible, right? Stop waiting for the perfect time. I gained so much success when I stop waiting for the perfect time and I just take action. Okay, so enough about me. I want to hear from you guys. A lot of you all have been sharing really good insight and asking really amazing questions, and I really appreciate y'all. But I want to know, what's something specifically for those of you who are following along. What's something specifically that's been holding you back? Waiting for the perfect moment to share. You know, what's making you stop what you're doing? What's making you afraid to show your talent, show your skill, to give your gift back to the world? What's keeping you from doing that? And I've got a little exercise for you too. Take a moment to visualize yourself sharing your gift, letting go of that need to control the outcome, and just following your excitement. What does that feel like? Just the visualization of it. What is that feeling? That's the energy that's going to carry you forward. So to wrap it up, I want you to remember this. You have a gift that the world needs to see. And the best time to share it is now. Because the only time to share it is now. There is no other time that exists. Time is an illusion. So Edmund says that the thing that's holding him back is not knowing how to execute the plan. For example, I want to be a photographer. I have a camera, but I don't know what system to use to upload, edit, and get pictures out. Well, one thing I will say, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you say you want to be a photographer. Well, you are a photographer. That's one where to start. I encourage each of you to watch when you use phrases like want, and start using phrases like am or have or will. Because when you're in the vibrational frequency of wanting, you cannot be in the vibrational frequency of having. And we operate in a vibrational space. But going back to this, you are a photographer, Edmund. You have a camera. Photo means light, and graph means the measurement of. So you have the ability to measure light because you have a camera. Now, the best thing that you can do for photography is to follow your excitement. Shoot whatever excites you. Don't worry about the game plan, the lesson plan. All of those things will show up. Just a product of you being here on this live stream is a testament to that, right? Start now. You are a photographer. Whatever called you in your spirit to say that is what you desire, that is the spirit that you should follow. That is the spirit that you must listen to. You didn't say anything else. You said you want to be a photographer. So you are. Ask and you shall receive. It's done. Start shooting. Start going and measuring light with your device. Shoot as much as possible. Then follow your excitement in the next step. How do I get this stuff up? Look up a YouTube video. Watch several YouTube videos. How do I get this stuff up? How do I organize it? Where do I put it? Lean on friends. Oh, I have a friend who's a photographer. I have a friend who's maybe done this before. Let me reach out. Let me shoot a text message. Let me post my photos online and see what do people think. Oh, somebody gave me some advice that maybe I shouldn't turn the camera this way. Maybe my lighting should be better. Join a photography group on Facebook or on, join a photography community of people that just go out and shoot photos. Join a meetup group, right? There's so many options for you that are available and they are free resources. Ask for critique. Post them to your Facebook and just say, hey, what do y'all think about these photos? I'm trying out. Just even if you get one response, if you get no response, just keep going. Keep posting every single day. Don't use the outcome to drive you. Use the excitement to drive you. Esoteric says, I'm starting a small business on whatnot and I have to go live for the first time. I'm nervous but excited. I'm waiting to have all the right things before I go live. Just do it and forget being perfect. Yeah, just get started. You already know. Just get started. Just do it. Just go live. And here's the thing about going live. You're probably going to get like one person watching you. And that's great. That's awesome. If you go live, you get one person watching you. It's perfect, especially if you're nervous, because that means you don't got to worry about impressing anybody. Just keep doing it because you got to get rehearsed. Like, okay, cool. Like, in fact, I hope nobody shows up so I can just keep practicing and I can mess up and not be worried about it. But here's the thing. Save those live streams. Post them so you can see how far you've come. So you can see how much more articulate you've gotten. All right, just go live. Just start it. Start talking. This is literally what I'm doing right now. When I first started going live, wasn't nobody showing up. Now I got people showing up, asking questions, because I've created a space where people know that this is an available resource. And so if you're not creating it, if you're not putting it out, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to flock to it because they don't realize that this is a thing that you can come to. I intend to be doing this once a week for as long as I possibly can. And I hope that my show just gets better and better and grows, and the channel is more of a, is more of a light. And so I just, you just got to get started. And you already know. You said it in your thing. Don't wait for all the right things. You got a phone. You have the ability to go live. Eventually you'll learn, I need to make better lighting, or I want to have a better setup, and all of that stuff. But don't let that stuff stop you. Better can always happen. You can always make it better. So don't let, when you start speaking like that, I want it to be better. I want this thing to be better. Then recognize okay, so that's not a requirement. That's a preference. I want it to be better, but that's not a requirement to get started. So let me just get started. Let me just I have a phone. I have the ability to go live on my phone, just set it up. I don't have a tripod. Let me just lean it up on my speaker or whatever. Let me just lean it up on the water bottle and I'm good. Okay, then next week I'm like, oh, that was really good. I want to go live again. Let me make sure I get a tripod. I know I'm going to go live, whether or not I have the tripod. But my goal now, my exciting goal, is to go to a store or order on Amazon a new tripod that can come before my next live stream. And I know I'm going to do that live stream. I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to put it out because I know I'm going to do it. Nothing is going to stop me from doing this live stream because what's exciting me is starting this business. What's exciting me is creating this small business and going live and talking to people and inspiring people and providing value. That's what's exciting me. And what's stopping me from doing that is my fear. So my fear is stopping me from my excitement. But your excitement will never hurt you. That is the opposite of excitement. Your excitement is not there to hurt you. If it's there to hurt you, it's not excitement. So to wrap up, you have a gift that the world needs to see, and the best time to share is now. Do not let perfectionism, fear, or comparison hold you back. You were made to shine. So let your light out. Here's my challenge. This week, take one small step to put your gift out there. Just one small step. Whether it's a post, whether it's a video, or sharing your story with a friend, or writing something, take one small step to putting your gift out there. Keep moving, keep shining, and I promise there's no limit to what you can achieve. And just like that, we're wrapping up another fantastic session on Ace Anderson Live. Big love and shout out. Thanks to everyone who joined us live this morning. Your energy and insights light up this community and push us all to level up in every way possible. Don't forget, we're here every single Monday morning, bringing that heat to start your week off right. If today's conversation got you fired up, inspired, or just curious to learn more, drop a comment, share this stream, and tell a friend because word of mouth is the best influencer. Keep Ace Boogie in your prayers, and I promise to do the same. Follow me also on all social media platforms at Ace Shot That. Remember, we're on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Snapchat. So come follow your boy, and let's keep the A-Team growing strong. Until next time, y'all, remember to always align yourself with truth, trust, and patience, and I promise you will ace your life. Peace out, y'all. Check them out on YouTube. They're saved.